713 yards of total offense, a 56-7 win over Morehead State to open up the 2015 JMU football season. Hello everyone, welcome into our first edition of this 2015 campaign of the Coach Everett Withers Show. I'm your host, Kurt Dudley. Of course, we'll be joined all season long by the man this show is named after, and that's Everett Withers. Coach, glad you can join us certainly again as we talk about your second season as the journey continues for the Dukes of James Madison. Obviously, a lopsided win for the Dukes here at Bridgeport Stadium on Saturday night. Did you get out of that game what you were hoping to get out of that contest for you and the Dukes? Well,
obviously, the most important thing is you win the game, and probably number two, that you don't get anybody hurt where they're going to lose time as far as season time. So those two things were accomplished. We felt like we got some things done as far as mechanics of the game, offensively, defensively, and special teams. But and we got some of our young kids. I think we got 13, 14 freshmen in the game. So we got a lot of things done. We didn't get everything that we wanted, but hopefully we can continue to add to the checklist and get some things checked off.
It looked like the offense picked up about where it left off last year. Obviously, 713 yards of total offense. Was that quality yardage for you, or were there some yards and maybe some scores left out there in your opinion?
Well, it was quality yards. Obviously, we had 14 explosive plays, and I think that's a big part of what this offense is about, explosive plays.
Okay, in your definition for our fans, what is an explosive play for Everett Withers?
Really runs over 14 yards, passes over 25, things like that. So we had a bunch of explosive plays. I think our guys did a really good job. The coordinators, the offensive coordinators, both Brett Elliott and Zach Kerr did a really good job, along with the rest of the offensive staff, of putting ourselves in good formations and sets to make some things happen and get some one-on-one matchups, both in the run game and in the pass game. So, I think the offense is kind of, obviously, when you've got a quarterback and you've got an offensive line and you've got running backs that can make plays, and then you add some pretty talented wideouts to that mix, you should be gaining yards. It's just a matter of finishing plays. We probably left, 2 or 3 touchdowns out there just because we just didn't finish, and we turned the ball over in the red zone and we gave it up on downs once. So we got to continue to get better at that.
You wanted to be tested. It was obvious that JMU was the favorite in this ball game. You wanted to be tested. Where did they test you on Saturday?
Well, I thought offensively on their side of the ball that they had some really talented players over there, and I thought what they do offensively gives them a chance to have success. The quarterback was a really good player. Did a nice job with the read option. They had a little bit different spin off of it. That read option throw bubbles a lot, and that's where they tested us. They put us in space some. We missed 9 tackles. That tested us a bunch because we were in space. Those are the things that we wanted to find out where we were. We know we're not quite there yet defensively as far as leverage of the ball and tackling in space, so we got to continue to get better.
On the 9 missed tackles, I thought there were times where the Dukes looked like they were going to the right spot, but just did not finish. Can you break that down a little bit for us? Is that maybe the case?
Well, when you go through camp and you really only have maybe 1 or 2 scrimmages where you actually tackle to the ground, that's the thing that always scares all coaches. The 2 things that scare coaches is injuries and did you get enough tackling practice doing
and it's
camp.
hard to weigh that.
And it's hard to get that stuff done doing camp. And we were there a lot of times and just didn't finish the play. We had guys reaching and grabbing instead of running their feet and putting pads on guys and tackling. So we've really taken our time this week and tried to get ourselves a little bit more tackling practice.
It was no surprise Vad Lee was going to have a pretty good ball game, and indeed he did. He was named the Offensive Player of the Week. But it was nice to see a couple of other men come out of the backfield, a couple other gentlemen. I didn't mention, in addition to the 713 yards, 3 backs or 3 runners with over 100 yards in a ball game. That's never happened in the 44-year history of the football program here. But Lee was named the Offensive Player of the Week. It was nice to see Cardon Johnson get a chance to play after sitting in the wings for 2 years. Red shirt and then an injury.
Right. It was really neat to see Cardon take that first carry and have success. And if you watched our sideline erupted. And because everybody's been waiting for Cardon to have that opportunity to go play. I think Cardon got hurt in high school and didn't play his last 5 or 6 games in high school. Then he comes to JMU and he redshirts. And then he goes into the spring and he's going to be the lead back. And he blows his Achilles out in the spring game. So, you know, I've got a soft spot in my heart for Carter Johnson just because of his mental toughness to go through all the things he's gone through and come back and play the way he played. I'm really happy for that young man.
Khalid Abdullah,
Yep.
he showed us that he can be as good as he can be.
Yeah, he's very talented young man. He's explosive, he's strong, he's physical. Those two guys, and then we get Taylor Woods back. You know, we've got three pretty good backs we feel like we can throw at people.
And that was an interesting scenario. Taylor Woods he's nicked up, so
Yeah.
you didn't really want to run him very much.
Sure.
So, well, you go to a young man, all of a sudden we look back, there's number 12.
Yeah.
Blaine Stewart is at running back. Tell us a little bit about that particular scenario.
Yeah, we had our backs, but we wanted to take some off our backs doing camp. And we had a couple walk-on backs that were kind of nicked up themselves and doing training camp. So we said, you know what, let's throw Blaine back there. Blaine knows the entire offense. He knows the receiver position. He knows the running back position. He knows the tight end position. He knows the quarterback position. So to throw Blaine back there and let him run plays is nothing for us. And obviously a coach's son, very sharp, very talented, and you know, we just get Blaine some carries to take some load off some people, and you know, he's the ultimate team guy.
Yes, he is.
And that's I'm not afraid to say he's my favorite on this team.
You can count on him in so
Yeah.
many ways. He helped you win a ball game last
No
year with his
question.
instant decision up in the north.
No question.
Let's go to the other side of the ball. Raven Green, the defensive player of the week.
Right.
You have been very high on Raven Green, and of course he's filling a role for now playing in the NFL, Dean Marlowe.
Yeah. Raven, you know, we missed Raven the last half of last year. He was injured. It probably affected us as much as anything defensively, not having Raven in the ball game and playing for us. So to get Raven back in the offseason in the spring was big. He had a really good spring practice. He had a really good camp. We started to back off of him a little bit physically toward the end of camp because we wanted to make sure he was going to be totally healthy going into the season. And he picked up where he left off before he got hurt last year. So we're excited to have Raven's athleticism, his toughness back there, and his experience playing to help our young secondary.
A year ago, Gage Steele was coming into the season hurt. He was slow to kind of respond to the new defense.
Yeah.
I thought he had a pretty good ball game on Saturday as well.
Yeah, Gage played pretty well for us. You know, we expect Gage to lead us on defense. He's kind of that leader, that quarterback on the defense. And Gage did some really good things in the run game. He's still working his way through the pass game and trying to fit the coverages, but he's doing a really good job of understanding not just the what but the why in our defense.
Speaking of that, 50% of Morehead State's offense was on that short passing game, as you
Sure.
mentioned earlier, to
Right.
Jake Raymond. What did you do to really nullify what was an effective play for them early?
Well, we did some things as far as fronts and coverages to match up to the three receiver sets that they were throwing to. They were really trying to work on really Gage, our Mike linebacker, a lot. Just try to put him in some run-pass conflict. So what we tried to do was take some of that off Gage, let Gage be a run defender or a pass defender and not be either or. And we were able to do that at halftime, come up with a few things. And again, I think one thing that I really like about our staff is they're able to come in and identify. And the only way you can identify the problems is your players have to be able to come to the sideline and say, this is what's happening, coach. And I feel like we've grown up a little bit in that way. And only to be good, that's the only way you can play good defense. They have to know what the problems are. They have to be able to come communicate that to the sideline, and then we have to, as coaches, be able to fix them.
Okay, real quickly, although 13 true freshmen played in the
Right.
game, no surprise, you're going to do that if you feel they can contribute.
No question. We're still, we're growing this program, and we recruited a really, really talented class of athletes and football players. And I'm really excited about these young kids because they did not go in the game, and they did not go in the game, and it was not a problem for them. I didn't feel the jitters. I didn't feel the anxiety. I felt some guys going out there like, this is my opportunity, and they went out there and some of them made some plays. Rashad Robinson made plays. Curtis Oliver made plays. So a bunch of kids made a bunch of plays.
Indeed, they did. The Dukes did, and it all totaled up to a 56-7 win over Morehead State to start the season. When we come back after this timeout, we'll get a little chalk talk here on the Coach Everett Withers Show.
You asked for it, you got it. New inventory is priced to move. You asked for it, you got it. Take a short drive for big savings. Conveniently located on Route 33. Check us out 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com.
Office products, we buy right so you can too.
That's right. At Office Products, we do things right. With our multi-million-dollar inventory of new, used, and refurbished furniture, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. From desks to chairs, filing cabinets, and so much more.
All the major brands that you're looking for. Office products, we buy right so you can too.
Office Products, we do things right.
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
You asked for it, you got it. New inventory is priced to move. You asked for it, you got it. Take a short drive for big savings. Conveniently located on Route 33. Check us out 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com.
Guys, just want to introduce myself, Steve Cease, the defensive coordinator, inside linebacker coach for the James Madison Dukes. What I want to talk to you today about is what happened Saturday night against Morehead State. They came out in what we call 11 personnel formation, which is one back, one tight end. And as you can see on the board, they're kind of running a jet sweep into the boundary, trying to gain and out leverage our defense, create short edges, and then ultimately get the running back or the quarterback the option of making their way up the field. So this play, for you guys familiar with really the beginning of the second half, this was one of the early plays in the second half, one of the few long runs that they were able to generate during the game. And they successfully, the very first time through, were able to give us some leverage problems, ultimately handing the ball off to the motion man who came around the edge, gained about 10 or 12 yards early in the second half. In order for us to stop this play, we were in just a regular zone coverage at that point in time. We wanted to put some pressure on them, and in particular on this play. So one of the things we decided we would do was towards this motion and to this formation and towards this personnel, we wanted to go ahead and send some pressure directly into it. So probably what you saw, and this was Taylor Reynolds into the boundary at this position, at the corner position, we just simply decided to send a corner on a blitz to this 11 personnel set. So as soon as we come out and saw this set, we ended up sending the corner on a pressure. So his job is really, he's a contained pressure guy. Basically, he's designed to cap the run, keep it from ever getting to the perimeter as the rest of the defensive players are flowing to the ball. And then this safety is responsible for that pass vertical if they do in fact throw a pass. And so what ended up happening was we were very fortunate that this worked out exactly the way we wanted it to. They ran the same exact play, the same exact personnel group when we called this defense. And what you ended up seeing was Taylor Reynolds making a really nice tackle for loss in the background or in the backfield of the play. And you saw the two backers were scraping over the top in the event that he did not make that tackle. They were in position to make it. So we're very, again, this was an in-game adjustment we made to try to stop this play, which was generating a few yards early in the second half. And ultimately, this was the last time they ran this play. And again resulted in a nice tackle for loss by Taylor Reynolds. So just kind of an insight on how we tried to stop one of their core plays in the second half. Looking forward to a great game this weekend against Lehigh and hopefully more of the same when it comes to stopping the run from our defense.
My name is Brett Elliott, quarterback coach, co-offensive coordinator, James Madison. And today I'm going to be talking about Vadley's 66-yard touchdown run. The play that was designed really to hold the backside safety. It's a quarterback counter play. And we're trying to put number 3 up the seam to hold this backside safety. So that way we can fake the bubble, turn rocker, fake the bubble, and then it's a counter with the guard trapping and the tailback inserting for the first play side defender to show. On the tape, it didn't quite drop exactly how we thought. Really, looking back on it, the safety didn't play number 3 receiver going vertical. We could have hit him for a touchdown and boosted Vad's passing stats. But the good thing was the action held the linebackers. We got a great trap block on the defensive end, and then you guys all saw how Khalid led up on the free safety and decleated him, and Vad ended up running untouched for a 66-yard touchdown.
Thank you very much there, Coach Elliott, one of the new coaches on the staff of Everett Withers. There's also a new baseball coach for the Dukes of James Madison. Spanky McFarland has retired, and Marlon Eikenberry has moved into town. I had a chance to sit down and get a little insight on the Dukes' new head coach. That's coming up after this time out on the Everett Withers Show.
You asked for it, you got it. New inventory is priced to move. You asked for it, you got it. Take a short drive for big savings. Conveniently located on Route 33. Check us out 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com.
Office products, we buy right so you can too.
That's right. At Office Products, we do things right. With our multi-million-dollar inventory of new, used, and refurbished furniture, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. From desks to chairs, filing cabinets, and so much more.
All the major brands that you're looking for. Office products, we buy right so you can too.
Office Products, we do things right.
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
You asked for it, you got it. New inventory is priced to move. You asked for it, you got it. Take a short drive for big savings. Conveniently located on Route 33. Check us out 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for clicking into Matazone, presented by the JMU Alumni Association. I'm Kurt Dudley here at Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park, where, of course, it's the home of the Dukes of James Madison University baseball team. And the Diamond Dukes, their first season was way back in 1970. I guess I can say way back. And that year, Phil Huntsinger was the head coach. A year later, a gentleman by the name of Brad Babcock took the reins, and of course, he had a great 19-year career. He took the Dukes through the ranks of Division III, Division II, and into Division I, taking the Dukes to several regionals, and probably the apex of all that came in 1983 when the Dukes played in the College World Series, the first team from the Commonwealth of Virginia to ever do so. After Babcock finished his career in 1989, Ray Heatwall, who is a local product, a Valley native himself, and a Hall of Famer in the Virginia High School League Hall of Fame, well, he guided the Dukes for 4 seasons. Following Ray's tenure, Kevin Anderson came in for 4 years. He took the Dukes to the regionals, playing down in Baton Rouge, and there they played the likes of Mark Kotze and Cal State Fullerton and a very good Rice team as well. Well, after Anderson finished his 4-year tenure, Spanky McFarland came in and he guided the Dukes to 18 years, and during his tenure took the Dukes to several regional championships. 2002, for example, Dukes set a school record for wins that year, and then they won 2 CA titles in 2008 and 2011. Well, Spanky retired this past season in 2015, and he and his wife Deb have moved down to South Georgia. In fact, they're right there in that Florida-Georgia line right across from Jacksonville, where they're retiring now. So that brings me to, well, coach number 6. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you here on Madison HD Sportsnet, Marlon Eichenberry, the new head coach of the Dukes of James Madison, the Diamond Dukes. Welcome to James Madison University,
Thank
Coach.
you, Kurt. I really appreciate it. It's been an awesome experience so far.
Awesome experience so far, but we're looking to a great future here with Coach Ike here. And, well, first of all, let's kind of give the folks a little bit of, well, who Ike Eichenberry is. Coach Ike, well, first of all, what do you prefer to be called by?
Coach Ike. It's what most of my players call me and most people around. So.
Okay, all right. Well, Coach Ike, we'll go with that here today. But Coach Ike, you are a native of Virginia. Grew up in Richmond. Tell us a little bit about your youth years, so to speak.
Well, I grew up in Richmond, obviously playing for a great Little League and Tuckahoe Little League, and was very fortunate. I spent a lot of time at the baseball field as a young kid with my twin brother Merlin, and I went to Douglas Freeman High School in the west end of Richmond. Played there for 4 years, and then had an opportunity to play Legion ball, and then was recruited late in my senior year to play college baseball. I actually was recruited by Coach Heatwell here at JMU, and then recruited by Chris Finwood at VMI, and I chose to go to VMI with my twin brother.
Now, it sounds like, since you had a twin brother, and his name, as you said, is Merlin,
Yes.
It sounds like that it was a sports family. In fact, as I was chatting with people right after the announcement of you coming to James Madison, I heard a lot of stories about your mom, who was very active during your athletic career.
Well, she was the mom that used to always kick us out of the house and go play sports in our neighborhood. And I grew up in an active neighborhood where during football season we played football, during basketball season we played basketball, and during baseball season we played baseball. So we played with the neighborhood kids. You know, several kids in my neighborhood ended up going to play college athletics.
Your brother also played with you at VMI. Tell us a little bit about that experience, if you would.
Well, you know, we both were recruited by several different schools, and my father really wanted us to go to school together. And I think he was really amazed that a school offered us partial scholarships. I remember the situation when Coach Finwood offered us partial scholarship. My dad was thrilled, and he's like, I can't believe you're going to give my boys money to play baseball. And he was ready for us to commit right on the spot. And it was, like I said, it was late in my senior year, and it was just the right situation at the right time for us to go there.
Well, I do remember the first time when you were playing at VMI. I was the sports information director for baseball here at James Madison. I remember when they were playing over at Longfield. Now, I've told you this story, but I want to share it with folks here on Madison HD Sportsnet as well. You were the pitching battery. You were the catcher.
Yes.
And he was the pitcher in this particular game over at Longfield. And I don't know the circumstance particularly with this play, but I know you called timeout. I know the umpire gave you timeout, and you sprinted to the top of the diamond, top of the mound, I should say, and you buried the ball in his sternum. I'm surprised he still was able to stand as hard as you hit him there. An interesting, well, twin relationship there.
Well, we were somewhat competitive at that time in our lives, and still am. Actually, we still are very competitive, and it was just a situation where I can't remember. I think it happened several times in our career. At one point, Coach Finwood actually wouldn't let me catch him in the ninth inning because he was a closer, because we get too competitive. But we had a lot of fun together, and that was kind of the neat thing of him. You know, he was a much better player than I was, so he was very talented, and you know, so I knew that he could help us win games. So a lot of times I had to motivate him that way.
Well, good. Thank you.
You asked for it, you got it. New inventory is priced to move. You asked for it, you got it. Take a short drive for big savings. Conveniently located on Route 33. Check us out 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com.
Office products, we buy right so you can too.
That's right. At Office Products, we do things right. With our multi-million-dollar inventory of new, used, and refurbished furniture, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. From desks to chairs, filing cabinets, and so much more.
All the major brands that you're looking for. Office products, we buy right so you can too.
Office Products, we do things right.
Clear to zip. Break a little. That's good. Good job. Game on.
asked for it, you got it. New inventory is priced to move. You asked for it, you got it. Take a short drive for big savings. Conveniently located on Route 33. Check us out 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Coach Everett Withers Show. As we continue with our program, we're going to talk about the next opponent, that being the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh, who opened up with a 20-14 win at Central Connecticut State this past Saturday. We're going to see the same quarterback the Dukes saw last year, and this was an important victory for the Dukes, coming from behind and winning on the road a year ago.
Yeah, it was. This was one of those games you go on the road. It was their second road game. But to go on the road and go through the adversity that we went through on the road with the lightning delay and sitting in the locker room for a couple of hours before you got back out on the field, for us to come back out and play well and win the game in the second half was good. So this is a very well-coached team. Coach Cohen does a great job. A lot of tradition at Lehigh, Lehigh football. And he's done an unbelievable job. They'll be physical, they'll be well coached, and the quarterback's a very, very talented young player.
You're coining this as Toughness Week because you expect Lehigh to be tough, and that's a part of their tradition.
Yep, no question. Yeah, we last week our motto was discipline. We really went into week one to be a disciplined team. We did a lot of things well in that aspect. We weren't perfect. Obviously, but this week is going to be about toughness. We have to win the line of scrimmage this week, both offensively and defensively, for us to have any success this week.
Let's talk about their quarterback a little bit there, Coach. Nick Shafniski, last year you went up against him. He's good with his feet. He's good with his arm. He is a multiple threat.
Yeah, he's a dual threat in every aspect of what he does. He can throw it well. He's good with his arm. He has a lot of runs. There are scheme runs for him, and then there's some ad-lib runs because of the pass play breaking down. So very talented.
Their leading tackler last weekend, Colton Caslow, had 17 stops. Are they funneling to the linebackers, or do they just let these guys kind of go?
Well, I think these guys are flowing fast to the ball and making a lot of plays. I know they're probably very disciplined, reading their keys, and they're just fast flow guys to the ball.
What's the key for the Dukes this weekend?
Well, no turnovers. We have to make the plays that come to us. Obviously, in the offensive game, we want to have explosive plays. We've got to do a great job of stopping the run on defense and creating some turnovers.
Well, Coach, I thought you were pretty good last week, and they say the biggest improvement oftentimes is week 1 to week 2. Let's hope we see a lot of improvement this weekend as well.
Yep, that's what we want to see, Kurt.
All righty. Kickoff is at 4 o'clock at Bridge 4 Stadium. The Dukes and the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh. For head coach Everett Withers, I'm Kurt Dudley. Have a great week.